Hi, I'm Deb, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Yoga Bites with Deb. Today we have a practice that uses downward facing dog as our base. We're just going to do postures from down dog. It's something I've never started a class that way, and I just thought it might be fun to do that. You might want to use some blocks, so gather a couple of blocks, and we will start in child's pose. Come into extended child's pose, and we're going to curl our toes under and extend our arms out. And begin by resting the forearms and the forehead down, and take a couple breaths here. Breathing, imagine breathing into the soles of the feet, open them up. And then we're going to come up onto our fingertips, raise the arms off the mat, roll the shoulders back, and then lift your head off the mat, lining your ears up with your arms. Your belly is drawn in. Breathe here. And then come up onto hands and knees. Keep those toes curled under. Belly is in as we lift the knees up and push way, way back. And then we're going to start to tilt up into our downward facing dog. And we're going to generously bend the knees one at a time and stretch out the back of the legs, the calf, the heels. Slowly moving from side to side. You might even push your hips out from side to side as we warm up. And then we're going to come into your down dog. See if you can straighten your legs. They don't have to be completely straight. And your heels do not have to touch the mat. Mine are lifted slightly. Hug those elbows in. Press into your finger pads. Really draw your belly in. So work on the length of the spine. And then we're going to inhale, come up onto the toes, lift the heels up high, and exhale, press the heels towards the mat, not that they have to touch. From here, we're going to draw that belly and lift the left leg up. Lift it up. Square the hips off, so you're not opening the hip up to the side. Square them off. Lift up onto the toes of the right foot. Draw the belly in. You're going to bring the knee in towards the chest. Shift the hips forward, but lift them up high. And we're going to step the foot between the hands. And then lower the knee down, making sure knee is in line with ankle. If that's not possible to do, you can come down onto your hands and knees and just step your left foot forward. You might want to use blocks, and we're going to press our fingertips or our palms into the blocks or the mat and lengthen up. Let's curl those toes and root up. Press that back foot way down into the mat, and then maybe raise that right arm up, a little crescent lunge. Breathing here. Release the hand down, inhale. Exhale, straighten the front leg, flex those toes up. Inhale as we come forward, and exhale as we come back. Coming back and holding, toes flexed up towards the ceiling, spine is lengthened. Just tuck that chin in, looking down towards the mat, towards your toes. And then maybe rotate baby toe side to the mat, keeping your right hand on that block, or maybe the fingertips are on the mat. Belly is drawn in. Let's raise that left arm up. Open up. Bit of a twist. Extend that arm up. Wrap it all the way behind your back. Slowly untwist. Turn those toes back up. Bend the knee. Press your palms into the mat. Curl the back toe under. Downward facing dog. Lifting now that right leg up, squaring those hips off. Bend the knee, bring the knee forward, lift the hips up high, and then step the foot between the hands. Help it along or come from hands and knees, whatever works for you. Maybe using those blocks again, root down and lengthen up, belly is in. Left arm might lift up, you might gaze up. Really press that back foot down. Release the hands down. Inhale, exhale, straighten and flex those toes up. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to come back. As we come back, we're going to hold. Find length, tuck your chin in. And then turn and drop the baby toe side down. Keep your left hand on the block or the mat. Raise that right arm up. So keep the hips level, turning upper body. Circle the hand to the low back. Untwist, bring the toes up, back to our lunge, back to downward facing dog. Pause in your down dog, belly is in. Feel free to have the knees bent any amount. If it feels good to pedal out the dog, go ahead. Lifting that left leg up now. Bending the knee, bring the knee forward, step the foot between the hands. Maybe grabbing those blocks again, up high. This time, the back knee stays lifted, belly is in. You could hold here and keep your hands low, or we could bring ourselves up, maybe bending that back knee, stacking shoulders over the hips, pelvic floor up, belly in, raising those arms up. Maybe work to straighten the back leg a little bit, depending on how you can keep that pelvis level. Breathing here. And then from here, plant that right foot down, open up, turn your hips to the long side of the mat, warrior two. Soften the shoulders, gaze over your front fingertips. So making sure your front knee is not collapsing inwards. And then let's just turn that front palm up and go into that exalted warrior. So lower body stays still, upper body tilts back if it's comfortable. And then bring those hands all the way back down and come back to downward facing dog. Lifting now, left leg up, bend the knee, bring that knee forward, foot between the hands. Feel free to grab those blocks if you like them. Root down, lengthen up, bend that back knee perhaps as you come up to stand. Extend those arms, maybe extend the leg, find balance, find focus. Breathe, high lunge. And then as we start to open up, you plant that back foot down, bring that left arm back, open up to the long side of the mat, and gaze forward. Peek at this knee especially, don't let it collapse inwards. And then that exalted warrior, if that feels good. Look up, look down, look anywhere that's comfortable. And then bring those hands down, back to downward facing dog. Lifting that left leg up. This time we're going to bend the knee and then stack the knee on top of the hip here. Open that hip up. And then we're going to come into that pigeon prep. So we're going to bring the knee towards the thumb, left knee to left thumb, and then move the foot out of the way. Flexing those toes back, and then lower that right knee down and slide that right leg back. Okay, make sure you're not leaning to the left side. And let's walk upright. So you do not have to have your shin parallel to the top of the mat. If you can do that, great, but you have to have a lot of flexibility to do that. So your foot could be a little bit closer, your left foot could be closer to your right hip, if that makes it more comfortable. But you do want to keep the foot flexed. So as we sit up tall, sometimes I like to just place my left hand on that left thigh, not the knee, no pressure on the knee, my right hand on my left flexed foot. Make sure the foot's flexed, and then I kind of root down and lengthen up. Noticing if you're leaning on that left side, really think that right hip bone is pressing towards the mat. And you're welcome to stay here, or if it feels good, come down maybe to your forearms. Maybe I like to grab a block sometimes and rest my forehead on the block. And just take just a few deep breaths and soften, relax as much as you can. And of course, if there's any pain, especially in your knee, get out of this pose. It's not meant for you today. Maybe lie on your back and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. And then from here, you're going to come back up, curl the back toes under, step back, bellies in, downward facing dog. Okay, other side, right leg lifts up, bend the knee, turn that knee up towards the ceiling. And then bring that knee forward, right knee towards right thumb, flex the foot, just move it out of the way so you're not sitting on it, and slide that left leg back. Okay, even on your hips, maybe you start nice and upright, maybe you have right hand on the right thigh, left hand on that flexed right foot, kind of push down and lengthen up, see how that feels. Maybe you choose to stay there, or maybe you come down onto your forearms, maybe you use that block and rest your head, or maybe your head goes right to the mat. And then we're going to slowly come back up. Curl the back toe under, step back, downward facing dog. From here, you're going to walk your hands backwards to meet your feet. You're going to bend your knees, lay your chest on your thighs, maybe fold your arms. Little ragdoll. And let the upper body just dangle, not holding the head up. Maybe you're shaking your head side to side, up and down. Maybe it feels good to sway, loosen up any tension, especially in that low back. Let it go. And then with the belly drawn in, bend the knees even more, hands towards the thighs. As we start to roll the spine up, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Lift the head up, maybe one big breath, inhale. And bring the palms to the heart as you exhale. And that was our yoga bite for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the practice. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Have a great day.